Good afternoon again. We're about to begin the rest of our program here today. And I invite everyone to please keep enjoying your lunch. And before we get started, I want to say thanks to everyone who has worn their tennis shoes and sneakers today. The Hotel Lodging Association, I know, is out in full force with Sneaker Zone and many of the other supporters. So that's how we raise additional money for Back on My Feet. Our associates pay $5 to wear their sneakers, and it all goes to the great cause of Back on My Feet. At this time, I'd like to introduce George Sanders, who's the Executive Vice President for Real Estate and Store Development at the Finish Line. Finish Line is a title sponsor for Back on My Feet's launch in Indianapolis. They've been a major champion in bringing this organization to our great city, and it's an honor to have George Sanders join us up here today. George.
Wow. Hello. I'm a little shocked. I mean, Mayor Ballard, Mr. Marriott, Bruce White. I feel like Curtis Painter up here right now. I mean, that's some heavy power there. But let me do my best. I want to start out by saying that I'm not normally a speaker that represents Finish Line at these type of functions. I guess I was nominated, or probably more to the point drafted by my cohorts over there, since I was the person responsible for introducing Finish Line to Back on My Feet. I first heard of this incredible organization through my friend Dave Sibley. I think everybody knows Dave. He's the CEO of White Lodging. Dave called me right after the launch of I believe it was the Austin, Texas chapter back in November, and spoke of this organization that he had just witnessed. And he said, George, this thing was amazing. He said that he talked about this amazing experience of how this organization was truly changing the lives of people who needed help the most. It was all about running, he said. And I kept thinking, homeless and running? I didn't get it. I mean, I really didn't get it at all. So I went online, I started investigating. I read up about Back on My Feet. I watched the video that Dave sent me. And I was impressed. I was impressed by everything I saw and everything I read. But I was most impressed with the excitement and the conviction and the passion I heard in Dave's voice. I mean, Dave was committed to this cause. You know, I consider myself very lucky. Nobody in my family, none of my friends, none of my circle of, people I work with have anybody who is homeless. We're very fortunate. Yet, when I travel around Indianapolis, I come into contact with homeless people almost daily, whether it's downtown Indianapolis or whether it's the exits around 465 or just about anywhere. There are homeless people. And I always want to help them, but I don't know how. And a lot of times I just look away from them. I don't want to make eye contact with them. And I feel terrible for doing that, but it's kind of like if I don't make eye contact with them, maybe the problem will go away. But it doesn't. It's still there every day. I truly believe that what Ann Mullen and Back on the Feet are doing is making a significant change in helping this part of our society that needs help the most. So I introduced this idea of sponsorship to the Finish Line. There's just an incredibly obvious connection between Finish Line and this organization. After all, we're a leading retailer of athletic shoes throughout the country. We're known for running. We're based here in Indianapolis. Our founders were passionate runners. Running is in our DNA. Most importantly, as an employee of Finish Line, I can tell you, we care about our employees, their families, and our community. It just made so much sense for us to be part of this organization. I'm proud to be here today as spokesperson for the Finish Line. The employees of Finish Line are proud to be part of this as well. We want to thank Back on My Feet and Ann for all that you are doing, and we especially want to thank people like Dave who are advocates and spread the word about this incredible cause. Thank you.
Sometimes an idea is just so crazy, it has to work. A young woman from Philadelphia walks into a local homeless shelter and says, "I want to take some people running." Right there, in the middle of a place where the forgotten and the downtrodden struggle to get through the day, where the outcasts and the addicts sit without their dreams, where the rejected and the ignored believe that the whole world has turned its back on them. In walks a woman filled with such a profound belief that running can be a healing force. She says, "I want to take some homeless people running." And that's just what Ann Malum did. So they laced up their shoes together. They put on their new hats and t-shirts and ran a mile together. They started slow, then the group got bigger and they ran further. And some kept right on running. They kept running toward a new job. They kept running toward a new home. They kept running toward the life they had always imagined. That is why, on any given morning before the sun rises, you can see a group of runners, professionals, volunteers, and homeless men and women moving through the streets of Philadelphia, stride by stride. And right in the middle of this group is Ann Malum, our hero, with her amazing idea.
A hero is somebody that does something good for no special gain, no pay, just because they believe in their heart that they can make a change.
In this world, I believe we are all looking for our place. We're all looking for something to belong to, someplace to fit in. We all want to be valued.
Ann had a goal and a dream, and it was about helping somebody.
My name is Ann Malum, and I am the founder of Back on My Feet. Back on My Feet is a nonprofit organization that builds running clubs within homeless shelters. I'm a runner. I know the amazing power that it holds. It's really helped me through a lot of hard times in my life. My dad is an addict. He went through recovery when I was young with drugs and alcohol. Running empowered me. That primitive motion of moving forward makes you realize you can get through anything. I live in what most people would call an up-and-coming neighborhood. I began to run by a homeless shelter. I remember stopping and turning around looking at them and thought, why am I just running by these guys? I felt so strongly, I'm supposed to help these guys. What's your name?
Tyrone Moore.
I've never seen a small, petite-sized Caucasian woman come into the heart of North Philadelphia and motivate so many of society's so-called throwaways.
Darren, unfortunately, comes from a past with not a whole lot of support and love.
I had in my life nothing worth living for. Life as a drug addict basically was no life. I became homeless, penniless, hopeless, helpless. All I was doing was getting high and finding new ways and means to get more drugs. Running means success.
Running is the vehicle that we use to move people forward, to help guide them toward a road that is full of opportunity and hope. They get Nike shoes, shorts, pants, 2 pairs of socks, and 2 Back on My Feet shirts. When we're out running in the morning, you're part of our family, our team. The status of whether you're homeless or not just evaporates.
When I'm running, I'm a part of something good. I can reach goals, I can make friends, I can get positive people in my life, and I can be a productive member of society. If I didn't join Back on My Feet, I'd probably be dead.
Watching somebody discover what they're capable of, there's nothing better than that.
What defines a hero? Ann defines a hero. So thank you, Ann. I love you.
And now it's a true honor to introduce to you Miss Ann Malum. Ann, welcome.